MMAWeekly.com. I am Damon Martin, and we are here with the immortal Matt Brown. And Matt, coming off your last fight, obviously big win over Wonderboy. We talked in Atlanta. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was a little surprised. You get an offer to fight on short notice. Talk to us about the offer and your decision to take this fight.
It wasn't a whole lot to it. It's basically just our manager called, said, "You want to fight?" I said, "On June 22nd." I said, "Okay." Who am I fighting? He said, "Luis Ramos." Basically, I'm getting married August 25th, so it's nice to get in the fight before that, because I'm probably gonna take 2 weeks or something off for that. So it works out, perfectly. So I'll get my third fight in this year, and then, hopefully get in a fourth one after the wedding and everything, and they'll have a full training camp. And that way it wouldn't end up, if I waited till after the wedding, did a full training camp, it would have been, 6 months or whatever, for another fight, to get my third fight in for the year. So just all the timing worked out perfect. I'm happy for it.
Is there danger in a fight like this in the sense of, you're coming off a big win? I mean, you say what you want about Wonderboy. He had a lot of hype. We talked about that before the fight. He had a lot of hype going in that fight. You kind of start that momentum building from that fight. And someone would say, well, taking a fight against a guy like Luis Ramos, coming off a 40-second knockout, there's not nearly as much to gain, and there's a lot to risk in a fight like that. Did that play into mind, or did it matter?
It probably should have played in mind a little bit, but I don't really think about it. I like fighting, man, and they called, asked if I want to fight, didn't even ask about the opponent. I just said okay. So I just enjoy fighting. So every single fight, man, there's gonna be risk reward, and there's gonna be reason to take it. Politics, all this horse shit. I don't get into it. I let my manager deal with that, and they ask me to fight, I say yes. That's all there is to it. They didn't even have to ask. They just tell me.
Yeah. We know that throughout your career, the UFC likes guys who will step in not only to put on a show, but when they have injuries. And right now, this may be the most injury-ridden time in UFC history. I mean, I know, obviously, you talked mostly to your manager, but do you kind of get that sense that UFC always appreciates guys that are willing to step in and help them out? Because, especially lately, man, there's been so many guys falling out. I mean, they're pulling guys from everywhere to try to fill the fight cards.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been appreciative of me when I've stepped in the past and helped out on short notice. So I assume they're going to keep that trend going, and hope so, at least. I know there's a lot of guys stepping in, so hopefully they don't forget who did it.
When you face a guy like Ramos, I mean, like I said, one fight in the UFC was a 40-second knockout. You can't learn a lot from that, and a lot of his fights are down in Brazil against a lot of kind of unknown Brazilian guys. He trains at a good camp, Nova União, which we know is a good team, but training with a good team doesn't necessarily mean you're a great fighter. But is that, I mean, not so much how you approach a fight, but is it more difficult fighting a guy where, I mean, it's kind of like Wonderboy in a way, because you really don't know. I mean, you can see all the fight footage of him with these spectacular knockouts, but, you mentioned it in our original interview, how great are the guys he's fighting. It's kind of the same thing with Ramos. He has 17-9 record, looks like a lot of experience, but who's that experience against? So is it tougher facing guys that are a little bit more of an unknown factor with a guy like this?
Yeah, there's definitely a huge unknown factor, but that makes it fun too. That makes it, kind of brings me back to the old school. I used to fight. I've fought enough guys I've never heard of. On a couple of days' notice, couple hours' notice, whatever. I kind of enjoy that, and then you don't really overthink it too much, and you just prepare to be the best you can at everything. And sometimes when game plans get you in trouble, you think too much about what he's going to do and this and that, and then he ends up doing something different, or his game plan isn't what you would normally expect from him. So it has its advantages and its disadvantages.
Yeah. So obviously, fight is June 22nd. Getting married in August. Are you ready for marriage?
Yeah, man. That's probably scarier than the fight.
You went the other way than your boy Demetrius Johnson. He had to get married during a fight camp, so I'm pretty sure you watched that and said, I don't want to do that. So.
I don't want to go through all that. I want to be able to, enjoy the wedding. And eat some cake and drink some beer or whatever. And
could you imagine being on weight cutting during a wedding? I mean, come on, that wouldn't be fun.
I couldn't do it. I'd say I do not.
Yeah. Well, fight is June 22nd, Matt. Thank you as always for the time. Obviously, safe travels to Atlantic City, and we'll see you down there with Luis Ramos.
Cool, thanks.